Now, in order to have a healthy, loving relationship, a lot of people believe it has to be 50-50. And by 50-50, I mean that it has to be equal amount of love. Now, in my last video, I talked about 50-50 in relationships, but it was more about 50-50 in terms of putting in the housework and 50-50 with money. I didn't talk about 50-50 in terms of love. But a lot of people say that if you want a healthy, loving relationship where you're just in love and crazy about each other, that the love has to be 50-50. But is that really true? Now, I'm Erik Peterson, and I'm a men's dating and relationship coach for Skill of Attraction. And if you would like private coaching with me, just head on over to my website at soa.fm and click on the coaching tab. And there you'll see they have several options for you to choose from. And if you have quick questions, you could register for the site completely free and ask your questions there. We have a community of men that help each other out, and we would love to have you there. The guys who do use it seem to really enjoy it because they learn so much. But back to the video, let's see what these people have to say about 50-50 relationship.
The only relationships that will last long-term successfully are as followed. When the man loves the woman way more than the woman loves the man, or when the man and women love each other equally. And the common denominator here is that the man has to be fully fucking invested. The thing is, that lopsided relationship where the woman loves the man more is going to fail because she is putting in overtime. A woman will always put in effort in the relationship to make it work, whereas man has to feel fully invested in the relationship in order to make the changes necessary, in order to communicate effectively, in order to put work into the relationship. If you're a woman watching this and you are stuck on that crusty, dusty ass man, this is your sign to take your energy back. Put it back into yourself, put it back into someone who is going to treat you like the fucking queen that you are.
Now, she happens to say that if it's equal love, then it will work. But the truth is, there is no 50-50 in relationships. There's always going to be times when one is more invested than the other. But the truth is, you need to have a woman who feels that like she's more in love with you than you are with her. And the reason for that is simply hypergamy. I mean, women need to see the man that they're with as they've essentially won the lottery in terms of a man. She has to look up to you with respect and admiration. Otherwise, she's looking down on you. And the way this woman is talking is that she's more or less looking down on the man that she has. Because the moment a woman feels like she could do better, that's when her eyes start wandering. That's when she starts wondering what it'd be like to be with a better man. This is what encourages women to step outside the relationship. Now, I'm not saying all women will step outside the relationship because that's certainly not true. But it does encourage them to see what else is out there, to explore their options. Plus, if you're more in love with a woman than she is with you, and she senses this, she will just simply take you for granted. And that's just the way it goes. On the other hand, when a woman loves a man more, the woman is going to be far more invested, kind of like what this woman said. But men don't look down on women when women love them more than they love the woman. Now, what she's talking about here is probably some player that she used to date that didn't really respect her much. And that does happen too. But if any of you have ever been in a relationship where you can feel that the girl loves you more than you love her, you actually feel some sort of peace. And when a man feels peace from the woman that he's with, he doesn't feel the need to go out searching for other women. Now, I'm not saying that men aren't tempted to explore other women, explore their options. However, for most men out there, they just want a good woman that treats them with respect and love and affection. They're not running around trying to sleep with any girl that will have them. Now, of course, there are guys like that out there that need to keep putting notches on their belt. But the truth is, for most men, it's certainly not like that. I mean, I talk to men all day, every day on what they want. And 99.9% of them just want a good woman, a good, loyal woman that treats them with respect and affection. Now, you probably heard online how all these women that are on dating apps, they're going for the top 20% of men. And those men have so many options. Of course, they're going to keep exploring those options until they can find one that locks them down and ticks all their boxes. And the funny thing with this one I have in my notes here is that she's actually a dating coach. And this is why you guys have to be so careful who you get your information from, because women are always going to give men advice on what makes that woman feel comfortable, not necessarily what works, what makes them in love with you, what makes them feel attraction for you, but what makes them feel comfortable. Because I know a lot of you guys prefer watching female dating coaches because you think to yourself, who's going to know better about women than another woman? But they're never going to give you the full story. They're always going to lean towards what works in favor of a woman. What makes a woman feel more comfortable? What makes a woman feel more secure and assured? They're not going to give you all the details about what turns them on and what makes them crazy with lust and wanting to chase you down. They're not going to tell you those things. So just keep that in mind. Let's hear from someone else.
You want a good life and a good marriage and a good relationship, he has to love you more. I don't care. That's just how it has to be. Otherwise, the power will shift eventually. Okay, there cannot be a balance because eventually the power will shift. There has to be an advantage from the start. Okay? No, if you're trying to find equal love, equal partners, 50-50, I gotta love you mutually, nope. Because the one who loves you the most is the one you should marry, or the one you should stay with. Okay? Now, I don't care what anybody says, I don't care what men say, because of course they don't want to be in that situation. They've been in that situation for most of their lives. The woman always loves them more because women are trained to put themselves last. So if you want to learn something or anything from Meghan Markle, the royal wedding, y'all know that Prince Harry loved her way more. Y'all can see it, y'all can tell, and that's royalty.
What a terrible comparison to use. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I mean, she leads him around by his nose everywhere they go. The guy is totally whipped, and she certainly wears the pants in that family. And did you notice how she's using men that have always been in that position where women love them way more than the man loves the woman? I think most of you watching this, or probably all of you have watching this, have been wondering, how come you have never been in a relationship like that? And again, that's because most men have never experienced anything like that. So these women are just using the players that they've had in their life, the guys that they have just been head over heels in love with, as an example of why it can't be like this, why it should always be that the man is more in love with the woman. And like I said before, it's because this makes a woman feel more comfortable, more secure, more assured. But none of those things make a woman feel attraction. Attraction doesn't come from comfort and reassurance. Attraction comes from that feeling of anxiety and jealousy, mystery, not knowing if he actually likes you as much as she likes him. All of those uncomfortable feelings. And that's actually true for men too. You feel the most attraction when you feel anxious and you're not sure where you stand and you feel that jealousy. I mean, a majority of the guys that I talk to during coaching sessions, they're in that state at that time because they don't know where they stand and they don't want to mess up the relationship. And it's really part of my job, at least, is to help them feel more reassured where they do stand and going by the signs that women are giving them rather than what women are telling them. And then, of course, I help them start to turn things around where it does work more in their favor. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that men shouldn't love a woman or shouldn't feel that attachment to a woman or shouldn't be putting in effort into a relationship. I'm not saying any of those things. But what I am saying is that if a woman feels like you love her more than she loves you, you're going to have problems in that relationship. You're always going to feel like you have to chase her. You're always going to feel like you have to prove something to her. And women just don't respect men like that. But on the flip side, it's not the same thing for men. We still respect a woman who loves us more than we love her. We don't lose respect for her just because she has these intense feelings of love for us, and we're not quite at that point yet. Because the truth is, the happiness and health of a relationship rests on the fact that the woman is chasing the man, because she's going to feel attraction in that case. And when a woman is attracted to you, she's head over heels in love with you. And as a man, when a woman is head over heels in love with you, like I said earlier, you feel at peace. And now you don't have this feeling of neediness and insecurity and never knowing where you stand, all things that completely turn off a woman. But again, these women are just thinking of their own comfort. But I'm not at all surprised that it's not just women that believe this idea.
A man needs to love a woman more than she loves him for a relationship to work. 100%. If a woman loves a man more than he loves her, and he's not more physically and emotionally invested, it will never work. Men have to want you more than you want them. They have to love you more than you love them. And that's going to show in his effort and how much work he puts in. When a woman loves a man more, she's throwing herself at him, and he's not really putting in any work. He's not invested the same. He might seem like he cares at first, but eventually he's going to lose interest. Bottom line, the more work a man puts in truly defines how much he loves you, and he's got to love you more than you love him for the relationship to work.
My God, how pathetic. This is a perfect example of that whole blue pill mentality, that if a man just loves a woman, he just gives her everything, that she's going to be happy. That whole happy wife, happy life idea. But happy wife, happy life, that idea doesn't really work. I actually did a video about it, and I think it's called Happy Wife, Happy Life. Does it work? I recommend that you check it out. But I suspect that this guy right here, he most likely has never experienced that kind of deep, intense, gut level love from a woman that he should be experiencing. And the reason why is because he has this mentality, he has this idea that doesn't actually work. Logically, it seems like it would work perfect. I mean, why wouldn't it? You shower a woman with your love and attention and provisioning. Why wouldn't she love a man like that? And she may love him in an affectionate sort of way, like the way you feel for a friend or for your parents or your siblings or your pets, but not that deep attraction, that whole idea of having fallen in love. But what he's talking about here is that mushy romantic version of love that really only exists in movies and romance novels and fairy tales. In fact, I think he's seen one too many romantic comedies, where if the guy just keeps chasing her and keeps proving his love for her, that eventually she will see the light and give up all those other men and dedicate her life and her love to him and him only for the rest of their lives, happily ever after. But that kind of stuff only happens in those things, in movies, in fairy tales, and romance novels, not in real life. Now, the whole idea of all this I wanted to show you is that women believe that you have to love them more in order for them to have a happy, healthy relationship. But you have to ask yourself, I mean, in most relationships, the man does love the woman more than she loves him. But at the same time, how come 75% and more of those relationships and marriages are ended by a woman? And the reason why is because she doesn't feel attraction for him anymore. And she doesn't feel that attraction for him because she's looking down on him. Those men have a woman up on a pedestal, practically worshiping the ground that she walks on, trying to make her happy, do everything that she wants, trying not to make her angry, showering her with love and affection and attention. And still, she ends the relationship. Now, of course, there's things like abuse and infidelity that play into all that, but I'm sure you've heard from a lot of women that the guy, everything is good with the guy, and she is leaving him anyway. In fact, I think there was some famous soccer player or football player. I don't follow the sport, so I don't know his name, but recently his wife left him because he was too perfect. And what that means is she should love him on every level because it's everything that she ever wanted, but the guy just doesn't turn her on. He's in love with her more than she's in love with him. Obviously, otherwise she wouldn't be getting a divorce. So that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about right there. A man that's perfect in her eyes on every level, probably ticks all the boxes, or at least he looks really good on paper, ticks all the boxes on her list of what she wants in a man, but he's just not doing it for her. And now she thinks that she could do better. So she's divorcing this man and going on and exploring her options. And it's all because that man loved her far more than she loved him. Did it make her feel comfortable? Yes. I mean, way too comfortable, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. But she just didn't love him more than he loved her. Because if she had, she would be working to try to make the relationship continue and make things work, because that's what women do. That's part of feminine energy is bonding and making the relationship functional. Well, it's the man's job to keep her attracted to him. Like I have one of my most popular videos is called, If She's Lost Interest in Sex, Do This. And I have so many angry men in the comments because obviously their woman won't sleep with them. But in most of those cases, it's not because she's intentionally holding back. It's because she's not feeling the attraction for him. And why isn't she feeling the attraction for him? Most likely because he's always walking on eggshells and trying to make her happy and keep her happy and try to keep her in a good mood and, doing handstands and backflips and jumping through hoops of fire just to get her attention and make her feel something sexual. But she won't, because she doesn't feel that attraction any longer. But if she were more in love with him than he is with her, none of that would be a problem. Because whether you realize it or not, one of the reasons why women sleep with you so much in the early stages of the relationship is because she's trying to get your validation. Now, she's not doing that consciously, but she's trying to win you over. And while I've never been married before, I've talked to many of you, many of my friends, and all that intense sex that you're getting in the beginning of the relationship lasts usually right up until the wedding day. Now, I can't confirm, like I said, I've never been married, but this is what I hear from almost every man that I talk to about it. So you have to ask yourself, is that really true that a man has to love a woman more in order for the relationship to work, to be happy and healthy? And if you've been paying attention at all in this video, you know the answer. And the answer is no. A woman must feel more in love with you than you are with her. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be in love with her or that you shouldn't be putting effort into the relationship. All I'm saying is that she has to have more intense feelings for you in order for her to continue investing into the relationship and seeking your validation. Because the more she does that, the more you're actually going to love her. It's really quite simple. So if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and you subscribe. And be sure to share any of my videos with your friends and family. And if you need coaching, head on over to my website at soa.fm and click on the coaching tab. And we would also love for all of you to come over and join the community. It's 100% free. You could ask quick questions there. Obviously, if you need some deep, detailed coaching, then you want to hire me for private coaching. But for quick questions and to learn more about women and dating and relationships and how to make it work for you, join the website and the community will help you out. So that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.